Hello, everyone. I was on mute, so you couldn't really hear me that first part. But welcome to an impromptu live stream. I'm on vacation. I'm just chilling. I was a little bored from working, so I want to take a break and do this impromptu live stream. Chris, what's up, dude?
Hey, brother, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just here chilling, dude. Just going back and forth as to whether or not to go live and try something different. Maybe I was thinking about maybe observing the tweets on my timeline and kind of going through them and kind of exploring people's art, people's like promotions and marketing. Because I think that the this live stream business is all about talking shit for the most part or promoting and marketing. So I thought, you know what, maybe I'll change it up a bit and go through
Talking
my
shit.
timeline. Yeah, go through my timeline and shout out the people who are producing good stuff and maybe commentate on some of the stuff that people are tweeting about and talk about a little bit and explore those ideas and what have you. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But first, before we begin, I want to remind everyone that Vigilant Fury is still alive. We have 9 days left. So if you have not backed the campaign, do so. We're close to halfway done. 9 days. The clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. It's a fixed goal. So if we don't meet this goal, then we will have to start over again, and that's okay. I'm made peace with that. I'm all right with that. It is what it is. This is part of the grind. It's part of the I guess the struggle for when you're an indie comic book writer like myself or creator like myself and Gambino and you too, Chris from Vengeance Productions. So yeah, back to guys. Don't fall asleep on it because Gambino is offering a bunch of cool stuff in our perks. So don't sleep on it. How you doing, Chris?
Definitely. I'm doing great. Yeah, guys, jump on that real quick. It's a good story. You got some really interesting art and two people who are really passionate about storytelling. I think you guys will like it. I think it's a pleasant surprise. Honestly, I do. It's a sleeper. The
There you go.
story is definitely worth getting you in there, and I'm not just saying that. I believe in it. So Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I just finished my first on-camera video.
What do you mean you
So
finished your own camera video? Oh, you actually showed your face.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you know what? I saw that tweet that you retweeted it, right? I think I just
Yeah.
saw it. That's right. How'd that work out for you? How'd that go?
Not very good because the condenser mic. See, now I'm using like a headset, like a earpiece, old school like phones used to have. I couldn't find it last night, so I just used my iPad, and I'm not set up for it. But like I said, I saw a friend that I really respect say that he doesn't respect people who talk shit with hide behind their face and hide behind their facade on the internet. And I'm like, you know what? I talk a lot of shit. Not necessarily calling people out shit, but I just talk shit. So, I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to be on camera now. I don't, starting now, and I'm not ready. I'll get better as it goes. But I'm like, you know what? You're right. I'll show my face. I'm not scared. He's like, if you have the balls. I'm like, oh, well, and I commented. I said, I think I take that as a personal attack. and So yeah, I threw it up there. I talked about Kevin Smith. I'm gonna get better. The audio will improve because I figured out what I did wrong, so it won't sound like I'm talking in a bucket.
Hmm.
But I hope that my I almost said fans, and I don't like to say that. I hope my subscribers stick with me through that transition. But it was fun. It was cool.
Very cool. Send me the link to that video so I can put on the private chat. So that way, I mean, not the private chat, on the chat. So that way, whoever does show up and lives watch the show can link them to it and watch it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude. So how you doing today? Wednesday, hump day for the week. How are
Oh
you?
man, I'm doing good. Got some work done, which is always nice.
Nice,
Hanged,
nice.
hanging out with the daughter. She starts preschool soon, so like
Oh,
I've
how's
been.
that going?
She's excited. She won't be the first day of school. I'll tell you that. As a teacher, I've seen those preschoolers, and man, it's gonna be hard. Um, but I've been working with her, trying to reinforce her, ABCs and her manners and stuff like that, and letting her know what she can expect. And she's only going to half day, so she'll only be there for a couple hours, and then I'll pick her up.
Very cool. Is that
Yeah.
exciting for you? You a little nervous or?
Um. I'm a little nervous. She's sensitive as all get out, so I have to deal with that. I'm worried she's going to be too sensitive, but um, I think it's good for her. I'm trying to be positive.
Good, good. I think that's the best approach to have as a dad when you let her go to. Is she going to a public preschool or is there a private preschool?
Yeah, public preschool.
Oh, public preschool. Okay. Yeah, that sounds a little tough. I mean, letting her go, and not being with her for a long time. It's like 6 hours, right, for school. I can't even remember.
It's she's half day, so she'll only be there for 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
So
Well, that's not that
she'll
bad.
get. No, it's not that bad. And being in
So
education.
to summarize it, change topics here for a second. To summarize quickly, what is the video about that you made about Kevin Smith? I'm curious to know now.
I'll tell you the title of the video.
I saw the title. Kevin Smith
Okay,
needs to shut the
yeah.
fuck up. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to know what he needs to shut the fuck up about.
I come at it from a fan. Like I used to be a huge fan of Kevin Smith as an independent filmmaker myself, and growing up as, loving film and seeing him do Clerks and seeing him do Mallrats, and it's just a regular dude like us with a dream, maxing out your credit cards, writing your script, and
Yeah.
doing your thing. I fucking love that about Kevin Smith. And for in the '90s and maybe in the early 2000s, he was Kevin Smith, that guy.
Right.
Making those movies. He's just one of us, just happens to be in Hollywood. So I love that about him. And I felt like that was who I was. But then, I think ever since he had his heart attack and came back from it, he has been social justice, warring, woke madness is one thing. But now he's becoming a walking, talking hypocrite and attacking fans when he himself is the ultimate fan. he's the ultimate fan making movies and stuff like that. So I just kind of like just let him have it a little bit until, you know, but I prefaced it in the video by saying, like, I'm not just attacking this dude. It hurts me to say this shit.
Right.
I don't like that. I don't like his movies anymore, and he talks too much. He needs to be quiet, and that he sticks his nose into things. And like the comment he made about Batgirl, you shouldn't, you know, fire a Latino. You can't do that, and all. I'm like, one, why are you making, like, you don't? No one asked you. Like, shut up. You have enough to worry about with your He-Man garbage. You need to, you know, you're playing fucking with fire with that shit.
Right.
And, you know, he's got to chime in and things. And I'm like, bro, it's just not, it's not palatable for me anymore. And as I get older, like I say in the video, like I'm pushing 39. You know, I am 39. Anyway, I'm pushing it. But so like it's just become more and more apparent that agendas are driven, and he's saying the things he needs to say to appease things for money. And at this level, in his career and where mine is, I'm thinking like, dude, you got to have something. Like, it's about the money with you now. Like, I thought it was never about the money, you know. So that kind of shit. So I kind of, and then, you know, I say a couple things that are like, you know, shut the fuck up shit, but that's just me.
Right. No, I hear you, dude. You know, it's interesting because we almost got like a yin yang deal going on right now. You know, I'm on the opposite end going, who gives a fuck what he has to say about anything? Because Kevin Smith was never, for me, he was like you. I respected the fact that he went broke. He almost went broke to produce and film his first film, which was pretty good. It was pretty funny, and since it was so close to home, it came off as genuine and authentic when Clerks, the original black and white Clerks, came out, because he had lived that life. He was a clerk himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that,
yeah, exactly. They
okay.
both, yeah.
So yeah, he was a clerk himself, so he knew the ins and outs of like the pain of being a clerk for a convenience store, and that's why the movie did so well, is because it was genuine and authentic. But as success comes, you know, your ego gets inflated, and I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. I'm not surprised that he, you know, is who he is now, because you have to toe the line when you sell yourself to Hollywood. When you sell out to Hollywood, you must toe the line, or else they won't let you in their club. So
Exactly.
I think that's what happened. I think that's what happens to a lot of these celebrities that make it, that find the success, you know, the massive success. Because, you know, Kevin Smith, he was a very successful director. You can say what you want about his comedies, his movies. They're not the most perfect films, obviously, but they're entertaining. Like, I love Chasing Amy. I love
like
Dogma.
you said, they have. Oh, I forget about Dogma. I forget to mention that in the video. Dogma was one of my favorites.
Yeah, Dogma was a great film. I thought that was his. I personally thought that was
his best film.
His mature road. I was like, oh, he's gonna start maturing, but then of course after that, I think he went back to Clerks 2.
Clerks
right?
2, right?
Yeah.
Fart
so after
jokes.
That, I was like, you know, this guy's just a fucking phony. Like, he's a safe film director, because I'm a big fan of directors who push themselves, and you know, let me expand more and more and see what I can do with this, with my craft, you know, with my tools. And Kevin Smith ended up being Dogma. I think was his peak. Dogma was like, dude, this is like good stuff. Like, I dig this story. It's cool. It's very comic booky in a lot of ways.
The dialogue is sharp and witty.
The dialogue was great. You know, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were fantastic in that movie.
Yes, they worked
Jason
so well
Lee
together.
was phenomenal as well. Everyone, that whole movie came together nicely. I feel for Kevin Smith. I mean, the shit demon was was also great.
Dude, man, yes.
And Salma Hayek, like everyone in that film was great.
There was surprise. Like, I didn't know like that movie was full of like little surprises too. Because I'm like, oh shit, Salma Hayek's in this movie. Like, they had an all-star. He at one point could get Alan Rickman, of all people. And if you know anything about Alan Rickman, he's a fucking asshole. And he got Alan Rickman, the dude in the Die Hard movie, to, you know, the villain, you know, one of the movies that he loves is Die Hard, and Bruce Willis, right? So he got those people. He had opportunities. I just think that, like, something happened, man. Somebody started saying, "Hey, Kevin Smith, your farts smell like roses, bro. You need to be telling people your farts smell like roses."
Yeah,
But
I
I
don't
can
know.
quote Dogma.
I think
Like, Dogma's the best. Like,
Dogma was the best.
they
Yeah.
brought him into the gang. That was fucking funny and shit. Like, look,
Mhm.
we're a part of their gang with this shit demon and all this stuff. Brilliant. He has that in him, but it's not there anymore. You know?
Yeah, like I said, I think when you find some people, some artists, when they find success, it just stay safe and they just stick to what they know. And Kevin Smith, you know, he's stuck with what he knew or what he knows. And given the fact that he's, you know, doing what he's doing now, like I said, when you sell out, you gotta toe the line. And it reminds me of this parable story about this humble cook who used to work for a teacher in this school, and it was like a philosophical like academy, the setting of the story. And one of the students asked the teacher, "What was what is why won't you teach us a more complex ideas? Why must we wait, right? Why must we wait and like learn these like complex ideas, these philosophical complex ideas that you keep promising us?" And the teacher immediately said, "Well, it's because given the fact that you're confronting me about this now only shows that you're arrogant. It only shows your arrogance." And so he did this little experiment where he called out his cook, and his cook was said, "Hey, here's this cook. He's humble, right? He's a humble man. He comes into work every day. He cooks for us. He serves us. He's happy to do it." And then at that moment, someone walked into the academy and decreed that the cook, he was looking for the cook, right? And so the cook said, "Oh, that's me." And he's like, "Oh, you've inherited a fortune for from a relative." So, "Oh, great." So he took the fortune, and the king of the land said, "Hey, I'm going to start a war. Is it okay if you share some of your wealth with me so I could fund this war?" And he did. And he gained favor with the king. And so the teacher from this philosophical school went to the cook and said, "Hey, can you help me out here and like talk to the king, because he's kind of aggressive towards our academy. Can you talk to him and advise him, and let him know that we're not, I mean, you cook for us, what we do in there. We're not dangerous." Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'll do it. But he never did it. The cook never did it. And so since the king was so grateful to the cook for sharing his wealth to fund the war, he won the war because of his wealth. So in his dying days, he had no children. So he handed over the kingdom to the cook. He gave him kingdom. He said, "You are now the king of this land." And so when he became king, that's when the teacher came back to him and told him, "Hey, since you're king now, is it possible you could lax the harsh laws the king enacted on us on his last days?" And the cook told him, I'm sick and tired of you coming over here and asking me. No, get out of here. Next time you come over here, you're dead. I'm going to hang you, pretty much, right? And so that's when the teacher's like, "Okay, well, fine. Can you serve me my dinner now, please?" And he had hypnotized him. The teacher had hypnotized him, and so all this stuff played out in the cook's head in front of the class. And so the students were like, "Whoa!" And the teacher tells the students, like, "This is a valuable lesson as to what happens when you gain power and don't keep your humility intact. Look how quick
Holy shit, that's cool.
Our humble cook. Yeah, look how quick our humble cook became this despotic king once he gained power." And I think that's what happens with these Hollywood types like Kevin Smith. They start out humble, they're grateful for their success, but then when they get to that level, it's like, you guys are, like you mentioned earlier, right? The whole idea of like he was a fan himself at one point, and now he's talking shit on the fans, the very people who helped them get to where he got to. So it's a matter of
Exactly.
like human arrogance and human behavior. So I'm not surprised. That's why I don't listen to Hollywood types anymore. I don't care what they have to say about anything anymore at all, and I just ignore it and I focus on building up the indie comic community because there's a lot of good stuff going on, coming from here, and a lot of good people too, a lot of humble
Definitely.
people as well, and that's what I want to focus on. But I like the fact that you make these videos because they do need to be called out. These Hollywood types need to be called out every single time they open their mouths.
Yeah, it's awareness for me. Like I don't,
Yeah,
I don't like bring it with me. I don't walk around going all day. You know what? I'm pissed because Kevin Smith said this. No, I mean I don't fucking care. You and I both had a long conversation, so we have a path we're on, and we don't really give a shit
right.
what's going on around us because we care about the people within it and trying to entertain our people that care and who are like-minded like us. But yeah, I kind of just do it so that somebody out there goes, at least vengeance doesn't fall for their bullshit and calls them out. So I do it for that reason as well. I wouldn't say it's educational because I don't want to be educational, but I do want to be like, hey, I've been in that group where the one person had the gall to call out a situation, and it did change the situation, I guess, a little bit. And maybe there's somebody who's on the fence and comes across my video and didn't know anything that I just said. So yeah. But I don't like, I'm not an angry man for the most part. I just, I'm passionate and have my thing. And I like to just kind of let people know, because I know personally that you're dealing with really, these people they're not normal. I wouldn't say they're not normal, but like you said, they've lost that humbleness a little bit a long time ago. And it just they won't be able to be sincere and like they used to be.
Yeah,
they shouldn't be revered.
No. Yeah, whoop, I lost Chris. Well, when he comes back, we'll keep on talking about what we're discussing. But I wanted to showcase this piece of art here because I thought it was pretty fantastic, and it's drawn by an individual called Ricardo Jaime. He is from, it looks like, from Brazil. It's interesting to me how like comics, the landscape of comics have changed a lot, and I've noticed that there's a shift in the style of art. Where in American comics, specifically mainstream, there's been a change in like the style. Where it went from. Let me go back to his post. It went from this to something more like exactly B.A. Turner, Grifter Mask, love. Yeah, it has that Wildcats Jim Lee flavor that I like. I can't zoom in on this. Dang it! I thought I could, but I can't. But yeah, it's American comics used to have art style like this, and I think the fact that major publishers kind of left this behind, I think that's what suffered that's what caused the suffering of the current state of the comic book industry, because this kind of artwork is what sells. This is the kind of artwork, if I saw it at the stands and at my comic book shop, this kind of artwork here, that right there is the kind of artwork that is worth my money, because I can see now that I'm older, but when I was younger, obviously I just thought it was a cool image, but now I can see the hard work that gets put into this image like this. And I find it interesting that a lot of South American artists, a lot of European artists have adapted that style that the American comic landscape had back in the 90s and the early 2000s. And now we're seeing why American comic books are suffering. It's the lack of story and lack of high quality artwork like this one. Like this stuff is like fantastic stuff. There you are. I lost you.
Apologies.
No, it's okay. It's all right. I was like, did I accidentally kick him out of the studio?
Yeah, I agree with you. By the way,
Yeah, because I'll, this is what I want to do for the stream. I don't want to. I want to obviously sell my book, but I also want to showcase all the good shit that I see on my feed that I don't think gets enough love on the YouTube streams, because everyone has their own thing they want to do, which is great. Nothing wrong with that. But I sometimes like to spread the love and share great art and great stuff and funny stuff with other people, because I think it makes things a lot more fun, specifically for comics. Indie Wrestling Aces says Bloodbone is bringing the feeling of all those. Yeah, dude, totally. And this is like fantastic work, like top quality work. And I'm surprised it only has 7 likes and 3 retweets. This should have like a tremendous amount of retweets and likes, but maybe it needs time to simmer and to like blow up. But yeah, this is a great piece. Ricardo Jaime at Ricardo Jaime on Twitter. Give him a follow, give him a support, and help him grow so more people can see this beautiful piece of art and his other artwork too. You can keep on talking, bro. I'm just gonna scroll down here and see what I can find. What else I can find?
So,
what were you saying though? You were in the middle of something before you got cut out.
I don't know. I think I lost you again. Let me try it again.
Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, damn. Well, I'll just keep on going. I'll just keep on rocking and rolling. This guy here too, Fabrizio. Oh gosh, I ain't gonna try to pronounce that. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Fabrizio. This guy is also a up and coming artist. I think I like his stuff a lot. His stuff is pretty fantastic. His inks and pen and his lines are pretty great. And yeah, give this guy a follow as well. Let's see here. Let's see what we got. DOJ source calls a raid a spectacular backfire, claims AG Garden didn't, blah, blah, blah. Political stuff. Don't care about political stuff. Not for this stream. The one thing I have to say about being an indie comic book writer, the struggle of being an unknown is the fact that not many readers trust you yet. And that's what I've been, finding out from my own. There you are. You all right?
Yeah, I think the internet just took a shit for a second.
Oh, okay. All right.
Apologies.
But no, it's cool, man. It's cool. This is a chill stream. There's nothing, nothing crazy. I really didn't have anything planned out or outlined for this stream. I'm just kind of going with the flow and just kind of see what I can find. Like we were talking about the other day, throwing stuff on the wall, seeing what sticks.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty much what I'm doing for this live stream. Ooh, look at this. This is pretty cool. Gnarly.
That's badass.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. Drawn by, looks like it's a guy named Tenevre? Tenevre? I don't even know how to pronounce that.
I have no idea, bro.
22 years old. Damn, that's pretty good, dude, for 22. Not bad.
Shit.
Not bad. Look at that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
That's pretty dope.
It looks digital
nice,
too.
Dude. Look at that. Wait, this is somebody. Oh, this is somebody else. This guy must be a werewolf lover. Not bad, dude. Not bad.
I dig it. It's got a charm to it.
Yeah. For sure. No, look at that one. Woo.
That's cool.
That's the stuff of nightmares, cool. Right? Imagine waking up and seeing that in your face.
Yeah, that wouldn't be cool at all.
Dude,
it's like a bear face. Is that like a bear?
It looks like it. It looks like a bear. Yeah. That's cool, dude. I'm digging this.
like a bear on drugs.
Yeah. Seriously. Nice. Looks like a skinwalker, I would say. A skinwalker, maybe.
I have no idea.
You know what a skinwalker is?
Like from Skinwalker Ranch.
It's part of that, but there's an actual like cryptid known as a skinwalker. Have you ever heard of the skinwalker cryptid?
You like the chupacabra?
Kind of like a chupacabra, but
Okay.
supposedly the skinwalkers are shapeshifters, and supposedly they're
Huh.
cursed. They're cursed souls. That it's kind of like a werewolf. I think this is where the idea of a werewolf came from, and because a lot of the sightings that people have supposedly reported on is that they're like these giant wolves that can stand on their hind legs and chase you if they see you in the forest. They only come out at night,
Fuck.
and they can only go apparently they can only go so far in the deep forest. So if you go deep into the deep forest, then it's like you're almost like fair game, like you're prey and they're the hunter. But once you get out of their little, I guess if you want to call it like their zone, then they can't go beyond that zone. And there's a lot of stories, a lot of people supposedly who come across these cryptids. And once you make eye contact with these cryptids and they remember you, it's like weird. This little weird like thing about them.
Fuck.
It's
They
fascinating
don't remember
stuff.
you?
They remember you, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look at them straight in like to their eyes, like they will remember you forever. Like so, no matter where you go, they'll like follow you around, and you know, kind of peek behind like the the trees and stuff.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's crazy.
That's not
Yeah.
cool.
I know, man. It's a Navajo. I think Native Americans talk. They always warn campers when you go camping in the deep woods to never talk about them because they can like sense it. It's weird shit.
Dude, when it comes to like that kind of
This
stuff,
guy-
I trust the
I'm gonna give this guy
Navajo.
a
Like
follow.
whatever you say, bro, I will not say a word.
Yeah.
You'll be thinking about it the whole time though. What if
Oh,
someone
I know.
goes,
And now
hey,
when you become aware of them, yeah, that's when it's kind of
shit,
hard.
now I'm gonna be seen as Skinwalker because I'm aware of them now. Good job, thank you.
Sorry, man. I'm trying to find something to talk about. I mean, I don't know if they're real or not. I'm just going based off what I read online, and there's a lot of Reddit threads, you know, creepypasta stuff that's
Yeah,
about these like cryptids and skinwalkers. And there's apparently some footage, some like live, like actual footage of these creatures, but you know, we don't know if they're mangy
Dude, you see that
bears
video?
or mangy wolves, you know. So it's just a matter of like, I guess, who you talk to, if it's real or not.
There was a video of a black blur attacking a goat. Did you see
I
that?
saw that video. Yeah, it was
I
like
know
in
it's
South America.
not-
It was like in
I
Mexico
know
or
it's
something
not
like that, right?
real. Right, dude. I
That
don't know.
was freaky, man.
That one was freaky. The only thing that makes me think it's not real is because the camera was in perfect position. Like, there's a moment where it goes behind the shed, and the camera's already in position to catch it. If you were reacting off where the fuck did it just go, you're not going to know exactly where it's going to be. You're going to be frantically looking around. But it was creepy, though.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, that was creepy. I found this channel, this YouTube channel called, I think it's called Creepy TikTok, or I forgot what it's called, but it's pretty much a compilation of like these different TikToks of like supposedly capturing these like supernatural events and cryptids and creatures and all that stuff.
Damn.
So yeah, it's I'll pull it up right now because we could probably watch it because
It's
stuff
fun
like that
to
always
think.
fascinates me. Huh?
Right, it's fun to think what if, you know? But
Yeah. Agent Zero, welcome. Just chilling, Agent Zero. We're just chilling here, talking, appreciating other people's artwork, like this guy here, Dan Panosian. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I apologize for butchering these names.
I butcher them too.
Thanks for coming, dude. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us and just shooting the shit and just hanging out, you know. Oh, it's a variant cover for Poison Ivy, but yeah, great work here.
I like it.
Fantastic. I dig it. What I'm
They
doing
need to
here,
act
guys,
up.
is I'm just, we're just here hanging out, and we're just appreciating other people's stuff and chilling, see what happens. We're talking about cryptids. I'm just checking out my Twitter feed to see what cool stuff I can find, what things people tweet about, and maybe we could discuss it. Oh, dude, did you ever watch this show?
Hell yeah.
Dude, it's been so long, man.
So I think about that show all the time. Remember Arnie, the strongest man in the world?
The strongest man, dude. He always tried to fight the ocean when the summer was over.
Yes. What a fucking trippy ass show, though.
That
man.
was a trippy show, dude.
It was weird.
Pete,
it was
Adventures of
weird
Pete and
beyond
Pete.
weird.
Yeah,
Yes.
trippy show. Like, this is when Nickelodeon was like in that. I don't know, man. It was great that there was a competitor to Disney, and I guess Nickelodeon was more for like the blue collar. I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean
Blue
that's how.
collar
I mean,
types.
there wasn't a Disney Channel yet, and at the time CBS didn't own Disney, so this was about like unless you like every once in a while CBS would air those made for TV movies, but this was about as good as you got to having like a Disney Channel like they do now with shows and all
Yeah.
that shit. It was Nickelodeon
Snick.
first, bro.
Snick. Remember Snick? Saturday Night
Yep.
Nickelodeon.
Stickly in the afternoon. That stick, the little.
No,
Do you remember? It was a stick with like a popsicle stick with eyeballs and a fucking mouth, or a finger or some shit. Yeah.
sorry, my wife was telling me that that Nickelodeon and Disney were for bougie kids, apparently.
Bougie
Not
kids? Are you kidding me?
yeah, bougie. I was blue collar, babe. What are you talking about?
Right. I was blue collar too. What are you talking about? I watched all the time.
because my dad was able to afford it
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
with the blue collar wage.
in comparison to a kid like me,
Oh, it was cable. It was cable.
It was cable, but I mean, was it really
It
bougie
was
in the
basic
90s to
cable.
not have
It was
to have
basic cable.
It was
basic
it was
cable.
basic. It was basic cable, and I understand not everyone can afford it. I get that,
but the reason I'm saying it is because
but I'm not a bougie kid though.
you were like, oh, you have kids. It was both networks were on cable.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's automatically make me a bougie kid or for bougie
I'm
kids.
just saying, like if there's gonna be a class distinction anywhere, it's gonna be between the kids that had cable and the kids that didn't.
But that doesn't make the kids who had cable bougie.
You were the one that was bringing class into it.
Well, blue collar, like, I mean,
I knew kids that didn't have cable.
pro wrestling was
That's-
in cable TV. Are the wrestling fans bougie?
Comparison to
Yeah, no, wrestling fans are not.
Right, wrestling fans are not bougie, right? We can agree on that, right?
Right, yes, they're not.
But people can be ghetto, poor people can be
How much did basic cable cost in the 90s?
Dude, I don't even
Seriously,
know.
it
I don't
couldn't
even
have
know
been
how
that
much it cost in the
expensive.
90s.
Everyone had basic cable where I grew up, but I grew up in the Bay Area, so I guess I was a little bougie, but I don't consider myself that.
Oh, and the best time watching Nickelodeon was You Can't Do That on Television. I remember that too as a kid. That was
Yeah.
a great show too.
That was a Canadian show, by the way.
That makes sense.
They bought the
That
rights
makes-
to it, I think.
That makes sense. But yeah, Adventures of Pete and Pete were fantastic. Oh, there you go. B.A. Turner says probably like $30 for basic cable. $30.
That's doable, man. $30 in our money or $30 in 90s money? Because that
Well,
would be
I
like
mean-
90 to $100 now.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
with
I would
inflation.
imagine. Yeah, and for inflation purpose, yeah. So $30 a month. Well, see, my dad was he was able to afford the premium channel, so he probably paid like 90 or $200 a month. And on top of that, he will order all the
movies.
the WWE pay-per-views for me.
Oh, what? You were lucky. My dad's like, I'm not wasting my money on men throwing men around.
Yeah, I was lucky. My dad was the same way, but he saw that that I liked it, that I enjoyed watching it, so he ordered it for me. And then that's not bougie, babe. How is that bougie?
Hell no. They had Salute Your Shorts. You remember that one?
Salute your shorts, dude.
Do
Dude.
you remember Hey Dude?
Oh man, dude, I forgot about dude. That show was so great.
And they
dude,
had
your
Wild
shorts.
and Crazy Kids. You remember Wild and Crazy Kids?
Oh, was that the one where it has
And
to
they
do
had
obstacles?
yeah, with a kids teams, and like they had Omar Gooding as like the host with all
Yes,
these other guys.
yes,
And they had colored
yes.
shirts on.
That's
Yeah,
right.
and
That's
they're
right.
always
Do you
in the
remember that
they're
Wild
always
and
in the
Crazy
fucking
Kid?
pool.
Oh, dude,
Right.
like a file cabinet in my mind just opened up right now.
Yeah. And they had
Wow.
Dare and Double Dare.
Dude, Double Dare used to be my favorite show, dude. I remember as a
still,
kid, I always wanted to be on that show. I was like, I hope one day I get to go to Universal Studios in Florida and be on that show.
I went on vacation there when I was 9, but they weren't filming an episode. They were filming an episode of Clarissa Explains It All for Nickelodeon. So I got to go
nice.
to a live taping of that.
Oh, that's cool.
So
How
it
was
was
that?
cool. It was cool. It was really cool. Like I didn't think much of it at the time. It was a relative new show, so it didn't. I didn't feel like, oh wow, it's star-studded or anything. But I got to sit there and watch it. You sit above.
That must have been great to see to sit in the live studio audience and watch your
Yeah, it
show
was
be
cool.
recorded. Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet that was a cool experience. Before we go on, I want to just shout out to this guy Jeff Schiller. He has a great comic book called Magic Powder. Now, I'm a lover of comics, so I don't care. I don't give a shit where you stand in the political spectrum of things. I only care about good comic books. So if you produce a great comic book, I'm gonna fucking support it, no matter what. And this guy has one of the greatest premises that I've seen in a while for comics. So it's a crime comic, but with goblins and like fucking I guess just goblins and like animals and what have you. So everything is all what's that term? Animomorphic or animal? I don't even know what the term is called.
Anthropomorphic.
Yeah. So I read the first issue, and let me tell you something, guys. This book is just absolutely like fantastic. Like I think this is a book that everyone should get their hands on because it's a premise that I think is fresh and very and the artist he got to do this book is top notch, as you can see here in this these samples here. I mean, look at this, man. This look like fantastic work. But if you have not seen this or heard of this, check it out. It's called Magic Powder. And it's about like the title says it all. It's like pixie dust but drugs. Like it's all about drug traffickers who are selling pixie dust to people in the story. It's fantastic. Like it's a great I guess parable of like the drug trafficking trade or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
but
it's clever.
He's using goblins and like demons and like all these fantastical creatures as
It sounds like this is a comic book that came out of two guys having a conversation. Like he's like can you imagine they got on a topic, right, about drugs, and then it ended up like into like, can you like, how do you think that these fairies get the dust? Do they go to a dust dealer? Like, does Sony make this shit? Like, how do they buy it? And then boom, here comes the comic book. Yeah.
That's cool. When I read it, I was like, this was a comic book that was thought up when the guy was smoking, when he was high on something. For sure.
He had to have been, right.
For sure he had to have been. And it worked out best for him because the book is really, really good. Like I was really impressed when I read the because I bought the digital copy just to be sure, because you never know with these things. So yeah, I got the first issue and I loved it. I was like, dude, this is right. Like there's a scene in the first issue where the main gangsters go to the ocean to pick up their drugs from the smugglers, and they're fucking mermaids, dude. Mermaids delivering the drugs. It was great. I was like,
that's
dude,
awesome.
I'm sold.
Who else
man.
would they be though in that world?
Exactly, right. What else would they be? You would think mermaids, but he went with mermen, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. So check it out, guys. If you have not heard of this book, check it out. The dude's cool. The premise is fantastic, so give it a chance if you're looking for anything like new or fresh when it comes to that kind of thing. So yeah, check that out. Hey, what do you think about this? Since we're all, I just saw a tweet right now by this Geek Daddy guy. He says apparently the new Green Lantern series is not on the chopping block at Warner Brothers, with the most recent decisions made by David Zaslav. I'm starting to have a glimmer of hope for the series, but I'm not holding my breath. So, let me ask you your honest opinion, since you worked closely in the industry for a lot of years. You have a better understanding of it than I would, because I never worked in the industry. I just kind of was an outsider looking in. Do you think this new CEO is doing the right thing by chopping, like pretty much shelving these films and starting from scratch? Do you think it's the right move?
Absolutely.
You think it's the right move, huh?
It's a right move on a ton of levels, not just coming in as a film executive, but if you're going to come in, let's say you're the new GM of the Dallas Cowboys. A lot of the time, if you have a proven track record, you know it works, you're going to stick with it. You're coming in with your own guys. You're coming in with your own plan. You're going to evaluate what you have. If it works, keep it. If it doesn't, trash it. If it doesn't follow the direct path of what you want to do, which is quality theatrical releases and not scrambling for a buck, I think it's the best thing that ever happened to Warner Brothers in 10 years. Yes, they might be able to compete with Marvel after something like this. Hail David. That's how I feel. I've wanted this for years. I've wanted this for years.
B.A. Turner, let me ask you a question since you're watching. Are you a Zack Snyder fan? Let me know. Because if you are, then you need to get out of here. No, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. just let me know. Just let me know, because I've been seeing a lot of talk like that too. People want the Snyderverse to come back. Do you think it's a good idea to go and allow the Snyderverse to flourish, or should you just go to a whole different direction and see where that takes them?
Me personally, I would have never released the Snyder Cut.
Oh, really?
Not because I didn't think it was. Not because I didn't think it was superior, or not.
Good for you.
I would have if. Okay, I can't. Okay, I'm taking over now. So now, if I came in as David Zaslav, no, I wouldn't continue the Snyderverse. I would cancel everything that had anything to do with the Snyderverse, and I would start completely over. I would use the Flash film as a flashpoint, and then I would reboot the whole damn thing. Maybe that's extreme, but that's
that would have been perfect.
Would do.
That would have been perfect, actually.
I know that those we didn't get to see Henry at his full. Like, look, I love, next to Batman, it's Superman. Those are the two guys for me, always going to be. I love it. He didn't get his opportunity, and that fucking sucks. But it doesn't look like that's going to be a problem anyway, because they want him back. So I have no idea. For me, it's confusing moving forward, cherry picking, keeping these people, but getting rid of these people in a universe that was already set up, and you're saying you don't want a part of that. But apparently Flash is good enough that they're keeping it, the Flash movie. So
right there, that's right.
I think he's doing a little bit of what I would do, but they also got a plan that we just don't know. We don't know exactly what their plan is, I think.
Yeah, I think the mistake that WB did was try to be like Marvel, and that was the biggest mistake they ever could have done.
Yep.
Because Marvel already explored the Cosmo stuff, and so DC really couldn't follow suit with that. So I felt that perhaps the multi-dimensional thing could have worked out for them better than Marvel. Because now Marvel is exploring the whole multiverse thing, but I think if DC would have just if they had found their captain to steer the ship, they would have been all right. But since they had no captain, it fell apart. It all fell apart for them, and it's sad because like you, I'm a huge Superman fan, more so than Batman. I'm more of a Superman guy. And so when
I want to be Superman, but I'm a Batman, and
yeah, no,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? Like, I want to be, Yeah, but I'm more of a I'm gonna punch you in the face. Let alone this, like, you know, Superman's a beacon of hope, the best of all of us, and he fights for us. Something you
Yeah.
can strive to be. Batman's the guy who gets shit done. And you know, I don't know, but yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I love those characters.
That's a good point. Agent Zero. It says all of this talk regarding comics to live action is why Chrome Dog, Thunder Horse, and all their adventures will ever be or forever be comics and or animation. That's a great point, Agent Zero, because I'm I'm in the Alan Moore school of thought, meaning Alan Moore was very big on comic books staying comic books and not being adapted to films. Like he did not like the idea of movies adapting comic books into film because and I agree with him. Um, he said that it would lose some of its magic that only comic books can offer. You know, films, yeah, you have special effects and what have you, but you know, there's something just different and better when it comes to telling a unique story using the comic book medium. And it's true. Like that's why I'm not. I was happy that the CGI technology had caught up to what a comic book adaptation deserves, right? But at the same time, you really are constricted with 2 or 3 hours runtime, as opposed to a 15 issue run of a classic epic story that you can't really condense into a 2 hour film. So maybe TV will change that. Maybe television will catch up to that too soon, and soon we'll have like we already had a few of them where we have seasons, you know, season long arcs and stuff. But yeah, leave comics to comics. I'm all about that. And maybe if you make a comic book, like for instance, Vigilant Fury, right? If you make a comic book like that, then you could easily adapt it. But if you're thinking like Chrome Dog, because Chrome Dog is a great. For those of you who don't know, Agent Zero Comics is producing this comic book called Chrome Dog, and it's pretty much what the title suggests. It's about a dog, kind of like a cyborg wolf type of creature, and he's gonna. From what he pitched to me, it sounds like it's something out of this world, and I would imagine that being really difficult to adapt to a film. So I'm with you there. Speaking of which, I just want to give a shout out to Global Comics because this tweet here in a few weeks, we have another big partner announcement coming to Global Comics paired with the launch of DRM free PDF download sales. So once Comixology got pretty much dissolved into Amazon, Global Comics kind of took the place of Comixology, and they've been, I mean, great, man. I've been seeing them blow up, and I've been seeing them offering a lot of indie creators a platform to showcase their digital comics on their website, and they're giving a lot more options than Comixology did back in the day. So shout out to Global Comics. I just want to give them a shout out. And if you guys have not followed Global Comics, do so. Check them out. They're I think they're going to be a powerhouse in a few years. So get on it. If you have a digital comic book, check them out, and you know, publish your book through there. That'd be great for you guys. So yeah, so that's great that this new CEO for Warner Brothers. I'm curious to see what he's gonna do. I really am, and I'm hoping we get a finally a good Superman movie, because the Zack Snyder Superman movie, Man of Steel, was good. I just feel that perhaps another director could have taken that movie personally, because I'm not. Although I do like Zack Snyder,
I like Man of Steel.
no, me too. Don't get me wrong. I love Man of Steel.
I like it because I think I appreciate. For some reason, with that character, especially Superman, I overwhelmingly kind of understood that they were trying their best to ground it in reality, and it's a fucking flying alien. Like,
Yeah.
we would be. I think the things that I think it's because I believe the same things he does. Like, if this was really happening, do you think humanity would be terrified? I fucking think so.
Of course.
I don't think. And, you know, there aren't too many stories, unless Superman goes evil, that the world is apprehensive with him. And at that time, for me, I put myself in. I have that great ability to like put myself in the audience's shoes and put myself in the situation of the film, seeing these machines come out of nowhere. We're being threatened by this guy who says this guy needs to show up or we're gonna fucking kill. And then all this stuff is happening. It would be terrifying, and it would be real, and it would be it wouldn't be fun and necessarily all the time, you know. But I honestly thought at the time too that we were building something. I thought, okay, good, this will be the story that sets in motion all that truth, justice, and all that shit. You know what I mean? This would be the arc that put him in that path, and it never came out that way.
That was the element I liked personally. But what lacked for me was Superman was a bit too broody for me. I felt that he could have been, obviously not, he couldn't be Christopher Reeves because that was a different time. That was a different Superman. But I was hoping for maybe a little bit more, I guess, goodness, a little bit more happier Superman. Someone
Less cynical.
Like, yeah, someone who's like, yeah, it's all good, man. Like, cool. Like, yeah, it's all good. And I liked it. Like I said, the premise was great. Here's this guy flying around, right? Well, actually, the first one was more about Lois Lane investigating him, right? Because she's hearing rumors about this man who has these super strength, but she's like on his trail, right? I felt that perhaps what they could have done with the first Man of Steel movie was keep the obviously keep the Zod stuff, which they did, but maybe they could have had him do a lot, like, I guess in the middle of the movie, have him be Superman, have him save someone. Like maybe there was an attack, or I don't know, something where he shows himself and people are scared and freaking out, and then Zod shows up and then protects them from the alien invasion, and that's when he gains the trust of the Earthlings, like the Earth people. And
right,
they did
Zach
a huge
definitely
mistake.
did not want to do that, right? Yeah,
yeah, and that was his mistake. That's why I thought he should have done that. And on top of that, they should have introduced Lex Luthor in this first fucking film. Like, they should have just done it. They pulled the trigger. Everyone knows who Lex Luthor is at this point. There's no need to wait for the second movie.
They could have just showed a bald man looking out the window when they crash back into the atmosphere.
Yes. Or even better, they could have had him, like, maybe one of the things that Superman stopped, you know, like when he exposed himself that he is on Earth. It could have been the LexCorp, you know, it's something that was connected to LexCorp, and then maybe it could have been a great opportunity to have, you know.
Well, they had the LexCorp truck.
Something
you saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
In the
but
actual
that was
film. Yeah, they had
that
the
was
LexCorp
like, come on, man! I wanted more than that. I wanted more than that than just to see the LexCorp truck being thrown by Superman,
me too, man.
Or
me
Zod,
too.
I believe. It would have been great to see, like, maybe at the end of the movie or towards the end of the movie, like Lex Luthor is like, you know, this upstanding citizen that Metropolis loves, but then now here comes this alien who saves the day because he beat up the other aliens who came in and wanted to take over Earth. And then maybe it would have been a fantastic scene where, like, you know, shaking hands, they're smiling, people are taking pictures.
Shaking hands with your soon-to-be nemesis.
And then maybe under his breath, since Lex Luthor is a super smart dude, right? He could have been like, I know you can hear me, and I fucking hate you. I'm gonna do my best to fucking destroy you. Fuck you. You are an enemy. Like,
he says
in other words, I don't trust you.
Yeah, like, no matter what you are or what you do, you will not be human. You are not one of us.
Yes, that's what I wanted to see in Man of Steel. I wanted to see.
And Clark's smile kind of goes down a little bit. He looks over at him and shit, and he's like, "Uh-oh." You know, just a moment, just a little moment. That would have been brilliant.
Yeah,
that
would have been great. That would have been fantastic.
Yes, something like. But Zach definitely had a vision. This wasn't going to be that movie. He wasn't going to give us he gave us no sense of that.
Yeah,
Superman
none.
was kind of, he wasn't Superman yet, but there was so much. I'm also a sucker for a great score, and I love that movie score. The score of it
Yeah,
was
that
just
was a great score. Yeah, it was. It was. But yeah, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that Superman. And of course, Christopher Nolan was attached to it. He grounded the story. Okay, I get that. I totally get that. But I feel that perhaps they could have found a writer who was a fan of the character and they could have done it justice. And I think audiences, both the comic fans and the non-comic book fans who just like Superman because it's Superman, they didn't read the comic books. They just like the iconic look
If you
of
watch that
Superman.
movie, like it's not Superman yet, like a legit
No.
origin story, then you might like it. He's not. If you look at him, he's not Superman yet. Like that's how I look at it. Like that's not Superman. It's like almost Superman. Like no offense to the Batman movie, but that's not Batman yet. That movie, the Batman with Matt Reeves and all that shit, that Batman to me did not. I'm not watching that thinking I'm watching the fucking Dark Knight. I'm sorry, I did not feel that. I felt like I was watching my second attempt at cosplay Batman from my elementary school back in the day. I just didn't
Right.
feel that with him, and I don't
Totally.
want a young. I like. Why can't they just give us a Batman where we don't care what his age is, but he's just like a badass, and like he's the only one allowed to be a Mary Stu or a Larry Stu. Like he's just a badass, but they didn't. They just didn't. They didn't deliver. Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I still enjoyed it, but it wasn't completely to my liking. I guess you could say I was satisfied with it, but not excited or like overwhelmed by it. Like the first Superman movie, the Christopher Reeves one. That one still to this day, like even though it's aged a bit in some elements of it,
I
but
love him.
it's still great. It still works out because that's Superman. That's supposed to be Superman smiling. Hello, I'm bulletproof,
Yeah.
but I realize that I am dangerous and I need to gain your trust, and that's what I wanted to see. That's what I was hoping for in Batman v Superman. I was hoping for that. Like, okay, okay, he gave us the origin story, cool. So hopefully in the second one, he can give us an actual like character study, which I was hoping for. Batman, Superman, the yin and the yang, right? And he kind of did give us that, but I just didn't like the fact that he made Batman into this killer guy. That bothered me. But again, it wasn't. It was his choice. That's what he wanted to do, and the executive said yes. So, hey, it's out of my control, it's out of my hands. So I can only deal with what's given to me and sold to me.
I agree, and they didn't need to give in that movie. They didn't need to give humanity more reasons to not like Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
It could have been
and
motivation
on top of that,
enough. Right.
On top of
go
that,
ahead.
fucking Lex Luthor sucked balls.
It was the Joker. It was like a bad fucking Heath Ledger Joker, man.
Gosh, man, like really?
Yeah,
that guy?
I was so.
That
I'm
guy,
not
the
intimidated by
social,
you.
the Facebook guy,
Right, Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
Really? You couldn't find me?
No.
You couldn't cast. What's the actor's name? He was the villain in the first
Lex
Sherlock
Luthor
Holmes movie.
isn't a. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
What do you know the actor's name?
First Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey.
Yeah. Hold on, let me look him up right now real quick. He was
Can't.
Mark Strong.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mark Strong. Whoa, what a name. Hey, look. This guy would have been the perfect Lex Luthor. You ready? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Whoops. Wrong one. There you go. This guy would have
That
been
or Bryan Cranston. Yeah.
pitch perfect Lex Luthor.
Yeah, in my head, Lex Luthor is suave, debonair, super smart.
This guy would have done
fuck.
it. This guy would have pulled it off.
Oh yeah. He's
He would
got
have pulled
chops,
off
bro.
the stand up straight, very assured. I know who I am. I know what I'm all about, and I'm not afraid of you because you have super speed or whatever. There is a
Lex
weakness.
Luthor's right. Lex Luthor's hate for Superman comes from the love of the humans giving it to him.
Yes,
So
yes,
the motivation for that wasn't there at fucking all. Like Lex, in Batman vs Superman, there should have been more love for Superman, pissing off Lex to give him a little bit more motivation for doing some of the
yeah.
things that he did, and it wasn't there. He just, I hate this guy because my daddy was mean, and if you're trying to say you're strong like my daddy, well, now I'm going to not let you, like, you tell me why he hated Superman. I don't know. Do you? Childish reasons like that? I don't think so. I'd
Yeah.
be afraid of him if I was that if I was that guy. I would not be. I would be kind of scared of him. I wouldn't necessarily be like. We have to show you what the fraud that you are. Like, when has he shown himself as a fraud at all? I don't. See, I don't know, Zach, dude. What the fuck you were trying to do, man? I don't really know. I get the guy's got a great visual. The films are always gonna look good, you know. But I don't know what his motivation was behind these characters and why they were this way at all. I just really don't understand.
It is what it is, man. Like it's just one of those things where, again, Hollywood don't care what fans want. They only care about what can we do to change this to make it fit what we like. That's what I've always felt. Um, Hollywood has always been, with the exception of obviously Kevin Feige, because I think Kevin Feige's role. Say what you will about the man, people that love him or hate him, whichever camp you fall into. Kevin Feige's approach to the MCU was probably the best approach I feel that could have been done, because Kevin Feige understood. He read the comics growing up. You could tell he did. You could tell he was a fan. You could tell he loved Marvel comics because he probably read them when he was a kid or as a teenager, whatever. But then he also understood there had to be a balance. Say, well, we can't do too much of the fantastical stuff in the comics because the mainstream audience, the people who don't read comics, never picked up a comic book in their lives, don't want to, don't plan to. We gotta sell it to them too. So we not only do we have to sell it to the comic book readers, but we also have to sell it to the non-comic book reader as well. And he found a nice balance between the two up until the end of Avengers Endgame. After that, I don't know what happened to be honest. After that, but before that, he found a beautiful balance to keep the comic book fans happy and also mesmerize and impress the non-comic book reading movie-going audience. And
Exactly.
that's where Warner Brothers failed. They couldn't find their own Kevin Feige.
Exactly. They didn't have one, and
They didn't.
and when they tried to put one in place, I don't think that A, they were the right people, or B, they gave them enough. Like Kevin Feige, I think probably 2 or 3 films into it, got pretty much as much control as he possibly needed, and wasn't hamstrung, so to speak, because he was proven that his theory works. So, and I also think that they weren't given enough time for some people that came in there to actually, prove themselves. But a lot of people don't know is that they think that the DC universe, whatever they call it, started with Man of Steel. It was actually supposed to be started with Green Lantern.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
right.
poo-pooed.
I remember that.
It was supposed to be introducing him, then Superman,
right.
And yeah, it didn't have
it
a
didn't
good.
work out, man. Green Lantern
Yeah,
was again. What happened? What happened to that movie?
a lot.
And
That's
why
for
start with
another
Green
fucking
Lantern?
stream.
Why start with Green Lantern? Why
Because they
not
started
start?
with Iron. Because they started with Iron Man, and it was a low-level character, so to speak. Yeah, be
That was
honest.
their mistake.
Before
That was
all
their
this,
mistake.
Iron Man, like even I was aware of Iron Man, but I didn't think Iron Man was all that until the movie. Like, yeah, cool, it's Tony Stark, but I think they were trying to do that. I think they were trying to get their. You think about who he was: a man in a suit, sarcastic, witty. They were trying to give their Iron Man, but with Green Lantern, and thinking that they could spark it off I would say a B-list character from the comics. I don't really know, but that's how
That
it
was
was
a
supposed to
mistake.
start.
They should have hit hard with Superman or Batman and started like that. Like, did you ever watch that animated movie, the Justice League movie?
Which one?
Well, I think it was a Justice League movie. Yeah, I think it was Darkseid.
Darkseid War?
Yeah, I believe it was. It was
When they formed the Justice League, where everyone was
yeah,
meeting
the
each other and
animated
shit,
movie. Did you watch that?
with the. Yeah, I watched that. Yeah,
That's how
It was
the
good.
live action movie should have been. Started with Batman.
exactly.
He's investigating these mysterious boxes or whatever you want to call it. And then maybe the Batman movie could have been, kind of like the MCU did, which is the subplot was the dark side stuff, but the main plot was maybe Batman was fighting against Deathstroke, right? Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deathstroke, and maybe that could have led to Batman finding out that Deathstroke is working for the quote unquote higher power, which is Darkseid, and then that could have led to maybe the Green Lantern movie, because maybe that could have led to Green Lantern doing his going off in his adventure, and then finding out that hey, Darkseid is doing something. He's doing weird moves, and Earth is the target for some reason. And then maybe the next movie could have been Superman, same deal, and then lead up, and then Wonder Woman, of course, and then lead up to the Justice League movie. But I understand what happened. They were just trying to play catch up to Marvel because, I would imagine, a lot of the Warner Brothers executives were like, "Dude, what the hell did we like? Why are we behind?"
Well, they're trying to at that time. They're trying to scramble. They're not sure if people are just going to watch these because they have comic book names on them. They're
Right.
trying to figure out what is this thing. We got to put shit out there. I think they're thinking, oh, we just need to make movies with comic book names in them. People will go watch them. But they didn't understand the quality that actually was coming out of those MCU
Right.
movies in the beginning. I think it was a lot of that. I think they were scrambling, like you said. What the fuck, we're behind, and like you said before, they should have never competed. They lost the race. They need to start their own race, do their own thing, and have blinders on to the MCU because they are behind. They failed. They need to do their own thing. And I suggested earlier that they should have just done one-offs, just one-off movies, and not competed.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Um,
Just one-offs without any connection to like a bigger plot, whatever, like the Marvel movies did.
Yeah. Taking some
Would
of
that
those
have worked
classic
though?
comic.
Would that have really
The-
worked?
I don't know, but Kevin Feige was laughed out of every room when he talked about building a. Nobody's gonna want to go see all these movies so they can understand this movie. He got laughed at.
Right.
But let's just say you want to adapt a specific comic book. You need a specific Batman archetype to play that role for that specific Batman
Right.
story. You hire that guy to play that Batman, and then a couple years you want to do another Batman. You want to do Long Halloween. Well, you want to get a different actor to play that because there's a different type of Batman in that movie, and you just do one-offs of your already there source material, so you don't have to create anything. You just have to adapt source material that you already have. That's already there. That was how I thought they should have been done. But what do I know?
Yeah, what do we know, right? We're just a bunch of lowly indie comic book writers who don't know anything about nothing, according to Hollywood.
Right.
Which
We
is
don't know
why-
nothing about
which is-
comics or right.
Yeah, which is why I fucking hate Hollywood, and I'll hate Hollywood until the day I die, unless they pay me a lot of money. But
Dude,
I
like I
digress.
told you on the phone the other day, Lou, #HollywoodGay.
dude,
How about we start making
You
our
know
own
what it is?
goddamn movies? Let's start making
I
our
think-
own damn movies.
Yeah, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen who are watching right now, who may watch the replay, forget about Hollywood. Forget about all those people. Forget all about those types. Create your own films. Create your own stuff. And
Yes.
the cream will always rise to the top. So everyone, the thing about the democratization of technology that we've experienced in the past 10 years has been both a curse and a blessing. The curse being that everyone has access to it. So unfortunately, you're gonna get a lot of crap
Yes.
amongst the crowd of the indie comic book scene. And I'm not gonna name any names. That's not what this channel's about. I'm just
It's-
giving you the facts. The
It's
facts
true.
of the matter. The
Yes.
facts of the matter is that there's a lot of shit that's going to be produced because the technology has gone so accessible that anyone who's anyone can get access to it. However, there's also the talented, skilled people who are amongst that shit, that sea of shit that's going to come out, and they're going to rise to the top. Just give it a few years. Give it a few years. Give it a few indie crowdfunding
Excuse me,
campaigns,
sorry.
a few successful comic books, and you're going to see just who is going to rise to the top, and you're going to see it. It's already happening. It's already happening right now as we're talking right now in this stream. So do your own stuff. Do your own animations. Do your own short films. Do your own comic books, your own novels, your own short stories, whatever the case may be. Whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't wait for permission by anyone else to do it. And don't be afraid to take criticism. Don't be afraid to have readers tell you this, I wasn't a big fan of this. You know, it's okay. That's the whole point of the game. The whole point of the game is for you to grow, and for Hollywood or any other production company that may arise outside of Hollywood that's going to come knocking on your door asking, hey, can I license that out because I want to make a movie of it, or I want to make a TV show, or I want to make an animated movie out of it. And you got to get out of yourself, you get yourselves out of that old mentality of, I'm going to make Hollywood's going to come knocking in my door. Get that shit out of your head and just focus on making a quality product. And eventually, down the line, with time, the right opportunity, the right people who get exposed to it, you might find success outside of Hollywood. It's already happened. It's already happening right now. There's a lot of comic book creators who are finding success outside of Hollywood. And like, for instance, Peter Simmetti's book, The Chair, I believe. I don't know if you heard of that or not.
No, I don't think
The
so.
Chair. Yeah, well, Peter Simmetti's book, you know, from the guy who's running the Alterna, great dude. He, I think, wrote and produced The Chair, and that got made into a movie starring Roddy Piper. This is his last film before he passed away.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was outside of Hollywood. It was an independent movie that was produced, directed, written, and done. It's done. You can find it anywhere. You can rent it on Amazon. I'm sure you can, and you can watch it. It exists outside of Hollywood. Someone read the book and believed in it enough to contact Peter Simmetti and ask him, "Can I make this into a movie?" So, you know, it's gonna the
Or
downside,
you can make your own movie. You can,
or you can make your own movie,
crowdfund
whatever the
your
case.
own. Right, exactly.
Yeah, whatever the case may be. The downside to this, unfortunately, is that you have to do it yourself. But if you
Woo.
can find,
It's a fucking huge
team-
downside, though.
it is a huge downside. But if you're smart enough, if you're keen, if you're like perspective enough to know, I can't do this by myself. I need a team of people to work with me. That's the key to doing it. George Lucas, for example. Again, say what you will about George Lucas, but the one thing that I respect the most out of that guy was that he had a vision. It was Star Wars, obviously. Everyone thought he was nuts when he hired a bunch of ragtag engineers to help him produce the special effects that he had in mind for Star Wars. And the what's the word I'm looking for? The gamble paid off because he understood who to tap. You know, he tapped one guy. His name was, I think, Dykstra, John Dykstra.
Yeah.
And John Dykstra was also, he was an engineer. He built stuff from scratch. He was a photographer, so he knew how to build lenses, and he was all about that. And so when George Lucas picked him out and said, I need you to find me a team of people who can help me make this thing called Star Wars. And John Dykstra he was the type of person who knew people. So he was like, hey, you, and he started picking different people that he met through college or he met otherwise through networking or parties, whatever. And he compiled them together, and that was the precursor to Industrial Light and Magic, which is now the biggest special effects, company in the world, essentially. So that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to be like George Lucas.
You have to become a producer. That's basic.
You have to become a producer, unless you want to be a writer. If you want to be a writer, stick to being a writer. But George Lucas had a vision,
and find you a producer,
a conductor.
Yeah,
he was a conductor, and he knew how to conduct. Maybe he's not the best director at Genuine Comics. Thank you for showing up, buddy. I'm glad that you're here. He was not the best director. He was not the best writer, but he was a fantastic conductor. Now, the key is to find out what you're good at the most. So if you want to be a writer, then stick to being a writer. But if you feel like, oh, you know what, I'd be a lot better if I was a project manager or an artist or a marketer or a promoter, whatever the case, stick with that or go with that, and you'll see just how quickly you could thrive once you are aware of your strong points and how you can utilize that to grow. And,
exactly.
I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure out what I am, and I'm starting to realize that perhaps I would make a better project manager. So in other words, instead of writing the comic book script and finding an artist, I might be better at writing a story, hiring an artist to write it, and hiring a writer to write it, and hiring an artist to draw it. And I could be the project manager, like George Lucas, going, oh yeah, this works, whatever, and then go on and do what you got to do. But also
that comes with his own set of work and stuff too.
Absolutely.
I don't want people to think that, because that's kind of how Vengeance works. You're under that umbrella. We have probably more than likely 2 projects coming out together. And I had the same thing you did. I'm like, I know people. I've been in the industry enough, and I view myself as a producer. I really like to produce. I like to build the teams. I like to, build to make a good product. At the end of the day, is, like a victory, a winning team, so to speak, like in sports. So that's been my approach. I evaluate a story, I create the story, I outline it, and then I hire the right people to make it come to life. Who are better at it than I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my dream, my end goal is to run a production studio, a comic book and otherwise. So hopefully down the line, if I do find success in this journey of mine of wanting to be an indie comic book writer or a comic book writer in general, I do want to be, a publisher and hire writers and hire artists to draw books under my umbrella, like the way you're doing, which is what I should be doing. But I don't have the resources for that just yet. So I have to prove myself first that the products that I produce are worthy of people's time and money. Time is the biggest one. Time, to convince someone to sit down and read your book, that's a whole that obstacle, man, is like way high. And if you can't do that,
I agree.
Then you're not doing your job right. You want the reader to sit down and actually focus their time to read your book, and not only read your book, but enjoy it and want more of it. So
I don't, you say you have to prove yourself. I mean, you have a little bit. I mean, you're there, you're working on that. You're at that moment. And you're talking to a guy who just said, screw it, I'm starting Vengeance Productions, and I'm going to start my production company. I'm going to be small. I'm going to learn how to do my own graphics. I'm going to learn how to do my own everything that I have to do. And man, if I could do it, anybody can do it. I think you're setting yourself.
That's not true. Not everyone can do it. If you can do it, doesn't mean that everyone can do it. Like, for instance, you
have to be passionate, right?
You have to be passionate. You have to be willing to get your hands dirty.
And take some
And-
L's like a motherfucker.
It does, man. It really does. It really does. And that's my advisement to everyone who's listening. I mean, Genuine Comics, he's been producing some quality stuff, man. Like every time I see his post on Twitter, I'm like really impressed with the artist that he hires to draw his books. He really does have a great eye, and I think Genuine Comics is definitely going to be a big time player in the indie not just the indie comic book scene, but comic books in general, because he has a great eye and a great mind for it.
I think he's doing it right.
Comics,
He's doing it
Agent
right.
Zero Comics is the same way. He has this great idea about this Chrome Dog, and it's very like comic books, and that's what's missing in today's landscape is everyone wants to make a comic book that can be easily adapted into a movie, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Why
But I
though?
think-
Because I don't see anybody trying to make their movies. What do they think Hollywood's going to be in the indie comic book page on Twitter going, "What can I make into a movie?"
They might,
they have-
dude. You never know. You
I
never
mean,
know.
that's
Look at what happened
possible.
with Peter Samedi and the Chair film. Maybe that wasn't Hollywood, but someone who had the funds, someone who understood filmmaking, still reached out to him.
I'm gonna tell you this right now: you have a better shot of doing it yourself than you do of being discovered like that.
That's true.
You just-
No, that is very true as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not knocking anybody. I want to encourage people to do things themselves. Like make your own movie. If you want to adapt your book, because I'm trying to adapt The Last Thanksgiving. It's going to be my first feature film. I'm putting everything I have into it. And I'm not going to wait for anybody to fucking discover it. I'm going to do it my damn self. I'm not saying I'm going to... I'm not saying it's not going to be hard as fuck and probably going to kill me. It will. I know it. But that's just me. And I encourage other people. But like you were saying about... was it Greeting Comics? What was that guy's name?
Genuine Comics.
Genuine. Sorry.
Genuine Comics.
I get confused for some reason. But I think that I think they're doing it right. I think they're doing good things. I've noticed them. They're on my radar. But that dog thing, though, that sounds really cool. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, you
Cyborg
should.
dog
It's cool. I can't wait to see more of the
I like
artwork
odd
and-
shit.
Yeah, it's hold on, let me pull up Agent Zero's Twitter handle here real quick. So I'm pretty sure he has a few images on there. There we go. There he is. Here we go. Yeah, check this out. This is pretty dope. See it? Still with me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look at that, dude.
That's cool.
And here's the thing too that I like that I'm curious to see what he's gonna do with it. There's 2 moons,
I see that.
so that's all he gave us. When I was in the live stream with him and he was pitching his story, and he didn't really give away too much about what exactly is going on in this image. He gave us obviously a glimpse, but now I'm really curious to know what is this, like an alternate Earth, or is this like a different world? Because there's a Ferris wheel right there, and that's very noticeable, and not noticeable but recognizable as a symbol of Earth, right? A Ferris wheel, but 2 moons. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, and that goes back to my point about comic books, is that we are going to have to expand out and really go to the far reaches of imagination, because once Vigilant Fury closes up, if we get funded or not, the next project, I'm gonna fucking go out there, man. I'm gonna the stories that I have in my computer right now that are really out there, like I'm gonna go for those next, because I feel
Hell
that
yeah.
I feel that I've restrained myself a bit, because again, I wasn't really sure of myself just yet, and now that I'm a bit more confident in terms of writing comic book scripts and having strong relationships with artists and all that and all that stuff. So the next one for sure, I'm gonna fucking go all out with it. So I can't wait. I'm really excited to show you guys what I have in store in terms of like this kind of stuff, like the Chrome Dog kind of stuff, where it's going to be hard to adapt it to a movie, and it should just stay within the realm of the comic book medium.
I feel
B.A. Turner, oh, look at that, B.A. Turner. See, B.A. Turner knows what's up. He's using the opportunity to market himself and promote himself. If gargoyles are your thing, you would enjoy my novel. So you know what, B.A. Turner, because of your boldness, let's check you out. Hold on.
Dude, I love the Gargoyles cartoon back in the day, and I wish they would do a live animation,
Dude,
but not CGI. I want people in gargoyle suits, dude. I want them in those
I'm the only one who didn't like that show.
What the fuck?
Yep. I know.
Why not?
I know. I just shook the hive's nest. I did not like that show. I did not like that show.
So cool. I just
it
thought
was
it was
not
neat.
my favorite. Once I saw the credits for the show to come on, I just turned off the TV. I didn't want to watch it.
Damn. I mean, I wasn't running around to see the next episodes, but like, I thought the imagery was cool. I couldn't tell you what the fucking story was about. I just want to see gargoyles, a family of gargoyles kicking ass. That's basically all I want to see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand the popularity. I'm not denouncing that. I'm not like short selling that. There definitely was. It definitely was a popular show because the more I kept seeing it, the more I realized, okay,
it had a cereal.
Watching this show.
It had a cereal. You made it when you got a fucking cereal. Exactly. Even Batman had cereal. So.
I didn't do a medieval backstory like the show did. Hey, look who it is, Mr. Gambino in the house.
Oh, Mr. Gambino.
Gambino, would you like to hop on the show? Let me know, and I'll send you the link. Mm-hmm. But let's take a look at B.A. Turner's. Now, see what happens when you join this chill stream, guys. The people who are here watching, I'm gonna plug you guys because you guys are here. You guys are listening to us ramble on about stuff. So let's take a look at B.A. Turner. He is a sci-fi urban fantasy author. He has a debut novel of Blood and Stone available on Amazon, and an independent and free speech advocate. Yay. Restore the Snyderverse. I should have known.
Dream a little dream.
It's all good, bro. I'm just teasing you, B.A. Turner. I don't hate the Snyder Bros.
Dude, they're gonna restore it somehow. I don't know if it's gonna be his initial version.
You know what they could have? You know what they should have done? What they should have done for the Snyder what Zack Snyder should have done was not give us a rough cut of the Justice League movie, because that's what it was. It was a rough cut, So
yeah,
I feel that he still could have cut out maybe 45 minutes of the movie, and it would have been pitch perfect, in my opinion, if he had just cut out 45 minutes of it. What do you think? You think? You think he shouldn't have done that at all?
Look, when they made the decision to restore the Snyderverse, they should have let him make his movies and let it be the end of it. But now, see,
right there.
Because they didn't do that, now look where we're at. We're in this whole confused who's in, who's out. Personally, I don't think, I don't know, man. It's all fucky. It's all weird.
No, I know it's all weird, but you're right. That was my main argument when they were pushing really hard for the Snyderverse. I was like, yeah, dude, look, I don't like Zack Snyder, but a director
let the man finish his movies.
Let the man finish. Let the man finish his vision, and then we'll decide whether or not it's good. There you go. Gambino said it perfectly.
No, I agree with him. I'll even. Can I read this one? Let the directors make their movies and shut the fuck up.
There you go.
Yes, I agree. And when they restored the Snyderverse back then, or released the Snyder Cut, they should have let him finish it, and we would have got the Snyder Justice League Saga box set, with a fucking chopped head off of fucking Darkseid. But instead, we got a Instead, we got that, and it was. I mean, yeah, I'll give him credit. Some parts of it were really cool, but like I was disappointed because I knew that this wasn't going to be finished. We were watching something that we're just going to be like pissed off that we didn't get more of, and guess what? We're pissed off we didn't get more of it. So here we are, and now we're in La La Land.
Yeah. Amen to all that, B.A. Turner. So let's take a look at what this story
Thanks,
is
sir.
about. So let's see here. A gargoyle story unlike any other, a hero we don't deserve but desperately need. History will lead
like
us to
that.
believe that the citizens of Detroit should turn to the police to save them, when in reality they should be looking to the sky. When a distraught Slade Allen, ooh, that's a good name, Slade Allen, cool name, saves the life of Rachel Winston in exchange for his own, he doesn't expect to wake up metaphysically bound to a divine grimoire? How do you pronounce that? Grimoire?
I can't even. It's
Gosh. Or to have the power of one of the world's most feared supernatural creatures waiting to be unleashed. Human by day, gargoyle by night. Slade pulls all the strings of Detroit's corruption, slowly unraveling a Nazi-era secret. Ooh. Such discovery spurs the formation of a team of vigilantes determined to crush the megalomaniac behind the city's undoing. Under the alias Dread Knight, oh, another good one. Nice, good names here, BA. Slade and his team battle augmented mercenaries, a corrupt police force, and media deception in order to save the city before it's too late. Nice, dude. It sounds pretty cool.
damn. That sounds kind of badass.
I like the cover.
Like,
I like this cover here.
Yeah, that's dope.
Grimoire, thank you. Appreciate that. Grimoire.
Is that some
There you
kind of
go.
inside joke?
No, that's how you pronounce it. That's how you pronounce that word. I couldn't pronounce.
Oh,
Grimoire.
oh, okay, cool.
Look at this. This
I
is
like
a cool
it.
cover. I like this art. Who was your cover artist? BA, if you're still here with us. Of Blood and Stone.
BA stands for badass.
Badass Turner.
Badass Turner presents Gargoyles Kicking Ass in Detroit.
Yeah. Nice. Well, this is cool, dude. So it's $12.99 for paperback, and it's if you got Kindle Unlimited, it's $0. It's free. But if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it's $6, which is not bad. It's how many pages is this?
No, I gotta check that out.
It's where's the page count here? Am I missing? Oh,
Nazis.
309
Nazis?
pages, dude. Nice, man.
That's epic.
309 pages.
That's a
That's
long
not an
book.
easy feat.
No.
No way. Let's see here. Okay, Timur Kabarov. That's the artist name. Cool. Nice. Very nice. So here, if you guys are looking for a novel to read, especially one dealing with the gargoyle, a defender of justice, gargoyle, check out A Blood and Stone, Vigilante's Creed, Book 1, written by Badass Turner.
Badass Turner, yeah.
Check it out, guys. Let's see. Is there a back cover? Survive long enough to live.
Dude, his pen name should be Badass Turner.
I think it should be. I
That
think
just
that
is so
should be your
cool,
name,
though.
B. Turner. Badass Turner is what your name should be from here on out.
If anybody asks. And then you show them the gargoyle, and then they go, "Oh, okay, no, that fucking makes sense."
Let's see. I'm gonna get a copy and have Julius read me a chapter every night before bed.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Planning to turn it into a comic. Book 2 is completed but not yet released. Oh, nice, dude. Nice.
That's sweet. If you know if
You
need
better
a
run
comic
with
book
it,
writer,
man.
I know one.
You better run with it, Badass Turner.
Yeah.
We just gave you Chris and I
Dude,
are the
you-
promoters of the
we
wrestling
gave
promotion,
you
and we just gave you a gimmick.
Yeah, we just gave you your nickname. You can't take it back. That's the thing with nicknames. You can't create them
You
yourself.
can't, yeah,
and you can't take 'em
it
back.
my friend. Oh, goodness gracious. So you guys have it, B.A. Turner, Badass Turner. Give him a follow on Twitter. His Twitter handle is at B.A. Turner _VC. Check him out and give him a follow and share him some love, and Hopefully, I wish you success, BA. I wish you success on your book. Why modern books are thicker than old school books? That's a good question, dude. I have no idea. Super Spurg. By the way, welcome, Super Spurg. Oh, dude, Ferris. Hey, Ferris. Been a while. What was that? What were you saying?
What did he said about? What did Ferris say about Todd McFarlane?
Says here, waiting on Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man Artist Edition. Oh, is that coming out? Is that a thing?
I've never heard of it.
Well, do you know?
I'm not a huge fan.
Are you aware of the Artist Edition that IDW publishes at all?
A little bit, yeah.
So IDW,
not really.
They publish these like oversized 11 by 17 books, hardbound books of what they call the Artist Edition. So what they do is they scan the original artwork as is and print it in that same size as a book. So you get to see all like the artists' like whiteouts, all their like mistakes or the notes on the side of the page, coffee mug stains, that kind of stuff. So it's I bought one. I bought it for Wally Wood. I bought Wally Wood's IDW Artist Edition book, and the one thing I regret not buying was the Jim Steranko Artist Edition, because they sold out, and now it's like $200 to like get a copy of it. So I'm really sad that I didn't get it. But yeah, that's what they are. That's what the Artist Editions are. And so if they're making a Tom McFarlane one, that's gonna be freaking gnarly, dude. Seeing Tom McFarlane's inks on paper and without the colors, that's gonna be freaking fantastic.
Who's your favorite comic book artist?
Mine?
Yeah.
Fuck, man, there's so many, dude. I would say though, Edvin Bokovic is probably my favorite.
Who?
His name is
Okay, I'll restate
Edvin.
my question. Who's your favorite comic books of the ones that we all know of? Okay.
Okay. Mobius. I would say Mobius.
Okay. I'm dude. I've always been, and I think I always will be, an Alex Ross stan.
Cállate, Oli. Cállate.
Pretentious again.
Yeah.
Mobius.
Aaron Lopresti. Aaron Lopresti is dope, man. Aaron Lopresti is like badass. Travis Charest too is another good one. Alan Day. Damn, good choices here, guys. You guys have better choices than I do.
Alex Ross. That's mine.
Yeah, dude. Alex Ross.
I just love it, dude. I mean, I would love a comic book drawn by Alex Ross. I would die.
Have you hit? He did draw a few comic books.
Oh, I know. I want one. Like, I want him to draw one of my comic books. That would be fucking.
Oh, one of your comic books. Orale.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. Yeah, dude.
I could stare at it forever, dude. The detail in this fucking work is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, Kingdom Come, Marvels.
The costumes look like costumes on them. I like that realism, man, dude.
I love. Yeah, me too. Same here. I also love that. Real quick, if I may go back to my pretentious mode for a moment. Edvin Bokovic was I think he was from the Czech Republic before it fell. Or no, Yugoslavia. He's Yugoslavia, I believe. He drew a lot of Dark Horse comics, but he drew a lot of Star Wars comics in the beginning of his comic book career. And then I think he mostly he drew Star Wars comics when Dark Horse used to have the license, and he drew Grendel. He drew a few Grendel books, and he worked his way through there, and then eventually he got a call from Vertigo, and he got a gig called The Human Target, written by Peter Milligan. And here, man, Edvin Bokovic, when he drew Human Target, it was like nothing I had ever seen before in comics, because his style wasn't, it wasn't like anything like Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane, for instance. Since we're talking about Todd McFarlane, he just had this like, gosh, man, like how can I say this with words? He just had like this like understanding of comic book storytelling with his art. Like, you didn't need bubbles, you didn't need word balloons with his art, because he has such an understanding of comic book storytelling that I feel that if he didn't pass away, because he passed away, I think he had a brain tumor. He passed away too young. I think he was like 40 when he passed away.
Damn.
Yeah, it was tragic, very tragic. But when he got to Human Target, 'cause that was his last book, I mean, you could tell, like, dude, if he keeps drawing, he's gonna be a freaking superstar artist. He's gonna be drawing for Marvel and DC Comics in no time. And then, of course, he passed away, and so we didn't get to see that. So the last work he did was Human Target, which I highly recommend you guys get. It's a 4-issue short series written by Peter Milligan. It was a Vertigo book. I think it came out in the early 2000s or late 90s. And he's like, I studied his work vigorously. I bought all of his comics that he drew, and I studied the fuck out of those books because, like I said, he just understood comic book storytelling, and I was just drawn to it. I don't know why. I was just naturally drawn to his style of storytelling, and I think a lot of people, especially if you're an artist, not so much the style, right? Because his style is not for everybody, obviously, but just the fact that he knew how to do sequentials. I think that's what every artist who is serious about drawing comics, they should study Evan Bilkovich in terms of storytelling, not so much style, because he had his own style, and again, his style wasn't for everybody. But the fact that he was able to tell a story that could have been like a simple story, but he made it so grand that it left a huge mark, like on my own development as a writer and a comic book storyteller. So that's why he's my favorite. Cool. I mean, it's not pretentious, Oli, if you're still here. I just, as a comic book reader, I always looked for the gems as I got older. I always looked for like the unknown artists that people didn't really praise too much because for whatever reason, maybe they didn't reach that level that they wanted to, or they did something else. Because a lot of comic book artists that I've learned over the years, they left the field. Like, they would do comics for a year or two, or maybe a few years, and then they leave because something else comes better. Maybe they did like art gallery stuff, or they got an opportunity to do something else like storyboard work or whatever, that pay a lot more than comics. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of these artists that left kind of left, like, they left behind this legacy that not many people know about. Freaking Oli.
That's cool, man.
I don't make it pretentious. I'm not being pretentious, dude. I'm
he called you what?
Of an artist that deserves praises. Huh?
Cabron? Cabron? Did he try to call you Cabron? Is that how you spell it?
Yeah, that's how you spell it. Cabron. Okay. I'm gonna show you a few of his art, so you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully,
every time I hear that name, I think of there's this Red Hot Chili Pepper song that came out in the early 2000s called Cabron.
Oh, really?
And he's singing like about this guy who's always messing with them. You gotta look it up, man. The chorus is Cabron.
Oh, okay.
And it just makes me laugh every time I hear it.
I can't find anything like worthwhile here that I can see. No.
Is he teaching you any like Italian, Mr. Gambino over there?
Gambino?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
No.
Trying to take away some of the pretentious heat away from my boy. Hey, see, Anthony, a brother. That's a brother right there, taking the bullets for me. Gosh, I wish I could find you some of those human target pages, but I'm not seeing it here. Hold on, let me see if I just type in human target. We're getting close to 2 hours, so I might call it soon. After the second hour, I might just call it a day. I think we had a good stream. It started off slow, but I think we picked up. And here we go. Here's one page. I guess it's fine. I can't find any other ones that's worth looking at. But here we go. It's not much, but
Okay, I can see some. Yeah, that's kind of cool shot. I like that.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's the first page. That's the first page of the book. Starts
I
off
get a-
really close up on
Yeah.
you don't know what this is, but it's half. It's a split in half because that's what the story's about. It's about split personalities. See what I mean? See how deep I
Yeah.
went with this? See, like,
Yeah,
I
I can see why he
analyzed
calls you a
and broke down.
pretentious.
Yeah, I broke down this book. I read this book so many times over that when I looked it over the last time I read through it, and I was like, oh dude, look at that! I didn't even catch that. It's the duality of man, because that's what the theme is, the duality of man. And look at the second panel, right? Holy, because there is some religious elements in the book as well. See, so already in the first two panels, he's telling you, he's showing you what the story is going to be about. Now,
Damn,
yeah, exactly. That's what
I dig
mean.
that.
Like, he
As a
was
filmmaker,
deep,
I
man.
dig that.
Yeah, he was deep, dude. He was like a grandmaster at like showing you and not telling you, right? So in the first two panels, he already told you what the story is going to be about by just drawing it, as opposed to just doing it like oh, I'm going to just draw a cool splash page just for the hell of it. But he just like had a deeper understanding of how to tell a story, and of course, the third one's Hollywood, and again, it does involve Hollywood because the human target is about disguises. That's his superpower, I guess, if you want to call it that. He's a master of disguise, and so
Well, you'll fit in right. What you're feeling really good in Hollywood.
and in the fourth panel, then you see the bullet and the fire here in the foreground, and then the last one is this assassin. And there you go. In the first page, he told you it's a story about the duality of man. It has religious themes to it. That's about master of disguises in Hollywood, illusions and what have you. And the fourth and the fifth panel, it's action packed. And the whole book, the four issues are just action packed. It's an action packed story essentially. And I'm surprised that they haven't adapted this book into a movie, because this story, this 4-issue story here would make a great film, or even a streaming show, like a 5 episode streaming television series. So yeah, man, it's just he was
Sounds
definitely
interesting as fuck.
yeah, he was definitely like my like the guy for me. Here, I'll show you another page. I found another one here. All right, here we go. And
It
guys,
gives me like
go ahead.
it gives me some vibes that I got from reading The Dark Knight Returns. Like some of the panels just set the tone so nicely for the pages to come that are going to be full of action.
Yeah, look at that. First that panel there. Like I said, his style's not for everybody, but whoops. There we go. Look at all that non-wasted space. So here's the the gun-toting priest. And by the way,
That's
that's
cool.
the human target. He's in disguise. He's in disguise as the priest. So that's not the priest. That's the human target dressed as the priest, and the makeup and the prosthetics, everything.
Oh wow.
And so he took his place because this in the story, this pastor is being targeted by the local drug lord, who doesn't like the fact that he's calling them out. If that makes sense. So he put himself in his shoes to kind of lure them out, and that's what the scene is. He's I guess fighting back against the gangsters who are trying to assassinate him. And yeah, look at that. Look at all that action going on in the background, and then in the foreground. Look at that pose.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to look
Look-
at. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, and the way he drew the robes moving, so like, even though it's a still image, obviously it's a comic book, right? But again, he didn't waste nothing in his panels. Everything is moving in this panel. Even the cross, even the necklace with the cross, like I said, the robes. It's just a top of the line stuff here.
I like it. I dig it.
Side shot here, and then of course, headshot.
Oh,
the
that's
red.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
love
I'm
that.
telling you, he wasn't afraid to try different angles and really go for it. And I like comic book artists that do that. And that's the reason why I like working with Gambino. He goes for it. He always goes for it. And Evan Bokovich is that same kind of artist. He always goes for it whenever he did his books. And in the Star Wars books that he did, were okay. You know, obviously he was constricted because it was Star Wars, so he couldn't do too much based on the license. The same thing with Grendel, but this is when he was allowed to like kind of like you could do what you want here, you know, and it shows that he was like ready to really showcase what he's capable of. So yeah, man, that's why he's my favorite. So I just wanted to
I like it.
explain that to the haters only. So yeah, that's why I dig this guy. He just was on a whole different level. I can't find any other ones that from Human Target, but I do highly recommend you guys pick up that book. The trade paperback's available on Amazon. Get it and enjoy the shit out of it because it really is truly is a fantastic book through and through.
It's piqued my interest, and I'm a snob.
Good, man. Well, I'm glad that I'm bringing attention to this guy's work because I think he's kind of being forgotten in the annals of comic book history because like I said, he passed away a long time ago. He didn't have a chance to really showcase what he really was all about in terms of his skill. Because I think after this book, he definitely would have been an X-Men artist or a Spider-Man or maybe Batman. He probably would have done Batman. He probably would have done Punisher, and he would have been like absolutely fantastic if he had the opportunity to work on those books. And I think
I think he would do a good job with Daredevil.
Oh, Daredevil, dude. Daredevil.
I can see a Daredevil
perfect.
story kind of like that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's good, man. That's cool.
Yeah, so there you go. That's why. So, I think that's it for me, man. I don't know. You have anything else you want to talk about off your mind? Get off your mind or share?
No, I think I did my part for the day with my video.
Oh, right, the Kevin Smith. And
No.
Kevin Smith should shut the fuck up if he ever listens to this.
Count your blessings, Kevin Smith.
Yes, Kevin Smith. Count your blessings that you got to work on a Die Hard movie with Bruce Willis. That you got to work with Bruce Willis, even though it
Twice.
ended up being terrible for you the times you did work with him. And you know what, dude? Just to all the artists out there, Hollywood or otherwise, when you get too big for your britches, it's probably best to just humble yourself from time to time. And even though you're getting attacked by the fans who may like your work for whatever reason, you put out a shit product, or hey, you can't win them all, right? You can't win them all.
You can't.
And so when you do get attacked by fans, take it with stride. I mean, it's not hard. It's not hard to be like, well, maybe I'll get you for the next one. Maybe I'll convince you with my next project. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy this, but I have other people who enjoyed it. I appreciate your feedback. Whatever whatever the case, whatever you want to say, just fucking humble yourself. It doesn't take that much to just you know either ignore the the critiques or fucking learn from them. Maybe you like, for instance, the He-Man situation, right? Let's talk about that real quick. Why were you surprised? I'm talking to you, Kevin Smith, to you directly now. Why were you surprised at the backlash that you got from the He-Man fans when you decided to purposely kill off the character that made the series what it was? And I get what you were trying to do. You were trying to get, you were trying to start with the bang,
subvert expectations.
Exactly, and I get that it's a risk. You're rolling the dice at that point, but you do that kind of stuff with like smaller properties. Maybe properties that were cult classics, but didn't have a big following until later. Then maybe you could try something fresh with it. But Masters of the Universe was not that. Masters of the Universe was a huge property.
And it was a He-Man story. I'm sorry.
It was a He-Man story.
Was.
Exactly. And you like totally shat on them. You
took your pants down and squatted on it.
Yeah, exactly. You took a big, huge shit on the fans and pretty much told them, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I want. And then when your shit failed, when it stank up the place so bad that everyone bounced, and now you want them back. Bro, all you could have done, all you could have said, if you wanted to say anything at all, which you have a right to do, everyone does, you could have just simply said, you know what, guys, I am sorry that I disappointed you, but trust me, there's gonna be something big I have in the works for you. You're gonna have to trust me. You could have just done that, and I think the fans would have been like, okay, all right, I'll wait. But you didn't do that. You shat on them. You doubled down, and you just fucking went, nah, fuck you guys. And that's where you fucked up. That's where you fucked up.
Yep.
You could, and again, you could have just humbled yourself.
You should have did my like. No, you're right, dude. You're dude. Preach, man. I would have given him I give a lot of people a lot of credit for admitting that it was wrong, or if they say, hey, man, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you. At least in my mind, I'm going, okay, this person's not living in an alternate reality.
Exactly.
It takes balls. It takes balls to admit you're wrong and to come back and try to prove it again, even though you're getting some shit. I can respect that, but not the way he handled it. You're right. He doubled down and he called us out. And he's never going to recover from that. I'm sorry. He's just not going to. He did. He disrespected it.
These fuckers should speak on social media. Hire a fucking publicist. Shouldn't speak on social media. Hire a fucking publicist. Kevin, you can hire me.
No,
I would have told you, hey, Kevin, maybe you shouldn't say that. Maybe you should say this instead. So that way, you could ease some of the hate, from the fans who have cooler heads that could prevail. Maybe not the hardcore fans. You might lose them, but the ones in the middle who are, still fans, but they could forgive. You want to appease those people, because those are the people who are gonna bat for you when you humble yourself and say, I made a mistake, guys. I'm sorry. Stick with me.
Right.
I guarantee you, all the second season is going to be, trust me, I have something planned for you. That whatever the case may be.
I believe in free speech. He has every right to come on and do his thing, but we as a society don't need to be giving them any more attention than we do when we give them money to go see them on screen.
Right.
No offense, but Kevin Smith probably doesn't know. Ever since he started making movies, I don't think he really understands the plight of the world, because to be involved in Hollywood for as long as he has been, he's living and breathing it, and it's a subterfuge of certain people, certain ideologies. You're in your own little world,
right?
So him coming out to the world, like, we shouldn't look at these people as anything other than what they are. And they're like, even like, say I get or you get big, it doesn't mean we know what we're talking about. If we,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
consider the source. You know, I would never be like that, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, the audacity. And I think for some of the things, to call himself a hypocrite. And some of these people are dumb as rocks, didn't finish college or high school, like, who won the gene pool lottery and say lines for other people. So, like, you just got to kind of, like, what would this person know about, like, interest rates or sexual identities of things that they aren't? You know, like, shut up. Like, that's all I feel. I don't know.
No, no, you're right, dude. It's a. I listen to Owen Benjamin. He's a stand-up comedian, and he, in one of his streams, he spoke about the actors he got to know when he was in Hollywood, when he used to work in Hollywood. He doesn't work in Hollywood anymore. And he mentioned, he's like, he said, dude, if you guys only knew, see a Badass Turner. Remember, your new name is Badass Turner.
CBA, kick some ass.
Good
while
night,
you're
good
out
night,
there.
buddy. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate that you spent your time with us, talking shit, talking about comics, talking about stuff we like and we love. So appreciate it. Good night, man. You have a good one. Where was I? Lost my train of thought. Thank you, Badass Turner, for that. Damn, where was I?
Holy shit, so did I. Yeah, you got me all thinking about Badass Turner and Gargoyle.
Yeah. Damn.
Kevin
I
Smith.
lost my train of thought. Shit.
We're talking about Kevin Smith.
Oh gosh, I can't remember now. Damn, I lost it. I lost it. Shit.
Oh man. Somebody in the chat, help us out.
Yeah, someone in the chat. What were we talking about? I totally lost my train of thought. Holy shit.
Before
it's
BA
a shame.
came in.
It's a shame. Oh, maybe I could. No, I don't want to do that. I was gonna say, I can just go to YouTube and rewind what I said. What I was talking about.
I'll check it.
Okay. Let me see. Oh goodness gracious. Real quick while Chris is checking on that.
And I think you were onto something too. That was.
I think so too. I just can't remember now. Shit. While he looks at that, I just want to shout out to my homies at Breaking Canon. I was a member of this podcast, but I stepped away because I had to do all this stuff with my. What was that? Oh, I think he's still looking.
Sorry, that was
so
me.
I just want to shout out Breaking Canon.
Sorry.
Breaking Canon is a podcast.
I'll pause my mic for a second.
Oh yeah, go for it. Real quick, Breaking Canon. For those of you who are looking for podcasts that talk about movies, especially specifically Star Wars, any Lucasfilm. I think right now they're doing Lucasfilm stuff. Star Wars, anything with Star Wars, anything with Lucasfilm stuff. They're currently covering all that stuff, and they're talking about the movies, breaking them down. Breaking Canon, Joseph McCorkle, Jules Saito, James Callahan, and I used to be in the show, but I had to step away to do this crowdfunding stuff. But check them out, guys. They're available in any podcast where they offer any kind of podcast. So they're on Spotify, Amazon, so on and so forth. And check them out, guys. I think they're worth the time. They're funny. It's fun time. It's always a fun time when I record Breaking Canon with the J's. There you go. J names represent. That's right, Joseph. Joseph McCorkle, he's here with us. So check out Breaking Canon. It's a fun show. We covered Howard the Duck a few weeks ago. So the episode just dropped on Monday. And check that out. It was a fun episode to talk about. Howard the Duck is one of my favorite movies. If you want to know more about how I feel about that film, check out that episode. We're gonna say, Chris, so you find out what we're talking about.
We were talking about your friend who worked with actors, and if you
no, he wasn't my friend. He was it was a stand-up comedian, Owen Benjamin.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So he said that he said if you guys only knew how sensitive these actors and artists who work in Hollywood are, it would blow your mind. How thin-skinned these artists who work in Hollywood are. They can't deal with criticism. They can't deal with anyone telling them, "Oh, that wasn't great. I wasn't really impressed by that." They can't handle it. It's almost impossible for them to handle it. And that's the upside that we have here in indie comics. You know I can't win everyone over with my books or my stories, and the same rule applies to everybody. But my advantage is that I have thick skin. I developed thick skin over the years when I was developing my style as a writer, and so you will never get that from me. And if they ever do get that from me, then I've lost my way. So you heard it here, you heard it here first, folks, on live, raw, and uncut. If Julius Freeman ends up being like Kevin Smith, then I've lost my way. I've fallen off my high horse. So,
Yeah. Gambino grabbed the reins and ripped your ass right off your pretentious ass high horse.
all right, see you, Agent Zero. I appreciate you coming here as well. So
See you.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
it, guys. Thank you again for showing up and hanging out with us. Oh, Tony Sizzle, dude, where you been? Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us, shooting the shit, having a good time. This was definitely worth it. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know if I should do this, but it was definitely worth it in the end. It was a great time. Got to talk about
It
my
was
favorite
fun. I had
artists.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to talk about, got to talk shit on Kevin Smith, talk about the Warner Brothers situation, and all sorts of other cool stuff. So check the replay out. And when you get a chance, hit the like button, subscribe. I want to do more of these things. And oh yeah, that's right. And the pretentious meltdown too.
Yeah, can't
Fucking
forget that.
Oli. Fuck you, Oli. I'm just kidding. All right. With
He's
that said,
not.
guys, you got anything else to say, Chris, before we go? Any last?
No, other than Julian, man, it's always awesome hanging out with you and talking with you, man. Thanks for letting me be on here. It made my afternoon a whole lot more fun.
Yeah, same here.
And
Same here.
yeah, it's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. That's it, guys. You take it easy. Have a good Wednesday, and check me out. I might be on. I may hop on the. Give me a second. Oh crap! Did Chris? Did you leave already? I'll be joining Mighty Mascots, Reckless Gleason, on his show tonight. He invited me on his show, so I'm gonna get on it and have a good time. So, yeah, there it is. You guys have a good one. See you later. Peace.